And good day, everybody. Today's the 1st of December, 2024. There's only 24 more shopping days till Christmas, so you better get on it. All right, let's talk about what's happening in Santa Clarita Valley. It's amazing what you learn at open houses. So we host a lot of open houses out here. Well, we're SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com, so I guess that fits. Today's going to be the Acton and Agua Dulce market update. But let me get into what some of the exciting things that happen at open houses. So you have folks come in. Of course, I released a book recently, so that's part of when I talk to people. I usually give them that, and we talk a little bit. Of course, if they don't have an agent or not represented, because I'm not out here to step on anybody else's toes. But, you know, they're talking about their real estate search, maybe how they've talked to other agents in the past. And one of the things that always amazes me is that there's very little listening on the agent end of it. So when they come in, I let them talk. I say, so what is it you guys are looking for? And just let them go. And one of the people yesterday that came in said, you know, it's refreshing. I said, what's that? She said, well, you look like this really big, scary person with all your tattoos and everything, yet you actually listened to everything I said and you responded accordingly, like offering advice as to what areas might be better, but then you let me talk as well. And I thought that was a very odd thing for her to say, but apparently a lot of agents just do a lot of talking and very little listening. And I explained to her, well, as far as I'm concerned, God gave us 2 ears and only 1 mouth for a reason. We should be listening twice as much. So that's what happened yesterday. So let's talk a little bit about what's happening in the Acton and Agua Dulce market. Overall, Santa Clarita Valley, currently as of this morning, right now it's 9:12 a.m., 419 total active residential real estate listings on the market for sale all across all of Santa Clarita Valley cities. Now, when we get rid of those other ones and we focus on Acton and Agua Dulce, currently there's 31 total active listings in both of those communities altogether. Now, something that I will point out with regard to Agua Dulce, when you're looking in that area, one of the things to consider would be water, where you're going to get your water from. And because the aquifer is so low, apparently, the well water out there really is kind of hit and miss. So a lot of people, what they do is they have tanks where there's a truck that comes and services the tanks and they'll drop off water. And they do this on twice a month or maybe every month. But it's basically the same as having water. It's just kind of a different system than having piped in water from the city standard system. So that's something to look into. And also they're not connected with sewers. So they don't have sewer pipes going into the city sewer and so on, like Santa Clarita would or maybe Acton would. It just depends on where you are. Not Acton, I'm sorry. But so the septic system actually is a tank that's in the ground, and it depends on what type of system they have. There's leach fields, there's other things. But that's just another part of the process, and I have never encountered anybody that has experienced a negative issue by having that type of system. It's just different, but it does work very well. As long as the system's maintained and monitored, it works fine. And I know people that I've sold their houses that have been in a particular house with a septic system for over 30 years and have not once had it attended to. Of course, there's a lot of costs now at this point because there's issues potentially. Things need to be updated and changed. It's got to really be cleaned out after all that time. But that kind of gives you an idea how long these things can go being neglected, which of course I wouldn't want you to neglect anything or buy a property that has something that's been neglected, at least without your knowledge. So it's important that you know what's happening with property. That's why the home inspections are so important. And with regard to septic systems, those are inspected as well. Typically a seller's cost, they'll call and get it cleaned out and certified. For the new buyer, that still seems to fall back on the seller. Termite used to be a seller's issue, but now we see that it's now very much negotiable where the buyer typically hires their own pest control or termite company to go out and look at the residents that they're in escrow with or considering buying, and they make recommendations from there. The reason why that kind of went that way, whereas when I started real estate back in '98, it was very much a seller cost. They would pay a company to come out and inspect it, and then you have that whole, they paid the company to inspect it. Did they really give the right readings, or are they just doing it to get that payment? Because they know that more than likely the buyer isn't going to select that company to do the repairs anyway. So maybe they're trying to push the ball forward, being neglectful in their representation. So that has also changed. So now, of course, the real estate market is currently evolving, and I think it always will continue to evolve until we have robots doing what I do if they're capable of the great jokes and the warm feelings, that sort of thing. So let's get back to this. So we don't see there's not that very many listings on the market for sale in Acton and Agua Dulce. They'll say 31 total. And as far as condominiums and townhomes, they're just not there. So these are going to be single family residences. What you're going to get in these areas, you're going to get the larger lots. You're going to get your neighbors not as nearby. So they're not really built on the tract concept. There are some areas that are more tract-like, but like Starpatch, Acton, but the properties aren't anywhere near each other. They're quite set apart from one another. So while you can see your neighbor's house, they're not going to be right next door. You can walk out in your backyard and smell them smoking their cigar. So a little bit different in those areas. But the rest of the Santa Clarita Valley is continuing to move. What I did is I pulled inventory just under 500 units for sale. So we've seen all of the Santa Clarita market change in that regard. So we have less listings on the market now as we get into the holiday seasons. Two things I'll talk about. If you see a house for sale during the holidays, those sellers are very serious. They really want to sell. Very few sellers are testing the market at this particular time because they don't want the inconvenience of trying to sell during the holidays is plenty, and it shows their seriousness. On the buyer end of it, if you're a seller and you have buyers looking at your house during open houses or whatever, make sure your agent has the guts to walk up to them and engage them in conversation. Make sure your agent can go and say, what are you guys looking for? After they ask the question, of course, do you have an agent? Are you currently represented? It's important because some agents just sit at open houses on the floor eating popcorn, where other agents are a little bit more active. Now, of course, we all have our own skill set. But when people are coming into an open house, they're coming into an open house for a reason. Yes, they might be a nosy neighbor and want to see what you have and maybe how you've outfitted your residence versus how they've made theirs better. But most cases, after you've done these for a while, you know those are the that are just very interested in seeing what you have versus the people that are coming in and very serious. If buyers are coming into open houses without their agent, there's also another question there. Why is it that they're visiting without their agent? Maybe their agent has told them, I'm too busy, let me know when you find something. Probably not the best agent to select, at least in my world. You want somebody that's going to be active and working with you. If you want to get a copy of the book, go to SantaClaritaOpenHouses.com. I put it on the homepage, so you can click there. There's a couple links. Great resource, if I do say so myself. It does talk about the real estate here in the local Santa Clarita market, and I continue to update the book, so the one that you get is going to be the most latest edition. Right now we have it out for 2025. I'm going to be doing another update, doing the local utility contact numbers and also my own exclusive vendor list for home inspections, roof inspectors, appraisers, and all of those people that I use and I recommend to my clients in the real estate realm, because knowing who you're using and having them vetted by another, offering that they know how their work process is, they know their code, they know their morals, and that's something that's really important for both buyers and sellers. So you're hiring smart, not just who you find in the yellow pages. Remember the yellow pages? Probably not. I'm Connor with Honor. Thank you for watching this update Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is our Valencia real estate update. We'll have more information then. If I can help you, meanwhile, please reach out to me. I'm here this week and answer my phone typically when I'm with clients or when I'm sleeping. Be well. We'll talk to you soon. I'm Connor with Honor. Over and out.